whether it overheated or whatever, but anyway, it went bang. It didn't take out the 5-volt chip that runs on it.
Where's the microphone?
It took out a nearby CMOS chip. And
microphone's
I
nearly bigger than the actual radio.
One, but not an identical number, which I didn't have. That was a hex inverter, and because it wouldn't oscillate then, I had to rewire it slightly with a capacitor wrapped around 2 gates rather than a capacitor with a resistor around 1 gate. It's just the gain of the gate's not enough. Because that works fine on the same frequency and everything. That's sort of like a 2 or 3 hertz oscillator to move this ramp, 5-volt ramp generator that counts 256 and produces the ramp output and does the very fine tuning. And then when it's about on frequency, there's a carrier there, I better stop, and the oscillator stops, and it all works. But barring the odd slight solder splash and things, so it was my repair was quite good. Annoyingly, when I heated the chip out, it took all the plated through holes out of the board as well. But it didn't need plated through holes, particular chip or anything. Didn't have to solder both sides of it. But it was just interesting because I basically just leave it out and warmed up the pins. And I tried to solder sucking them, but you can never get them all clear. But if you just leave it and then solder stuff, you normally can get it out in one go. But the original chip was still working, but it didn't have a very good earth, so it had something like a 1K earth resistance on this chip or something. So it would go from power rail to about 5 volts, swinging square waves and things, but it wouldn't go to ground. And it had a ground, so that was it. Anyway, over to you, Alvin. G8MNY, G6DW.
Evening all, G7CRQ.
Good evening, Adam, if you come in after Alvin.
Hello, Adam. I can hear you.
That's a shame.
I can hear John MNY fairly well. And I heard FDN say something, but then he faded away and I got noise. So it sounded like he was going to say something important, but I couldn't hear him. What did he say? Over.
Pat was talking about the noise that was on 80 metres, the sort of digital voice type noise, data noise anyway, that has been on there on the frequency I normally use for a week.
Hold this phone.
Back to you, Alvin.
Was that what he was talking about? Yes, over.
Okay, well, I'll take it's my turn. I'll just check I'm not doubling with anyone. I'm not. This is G7CRQ. Yep, but evening all. I can hear you quite well. I'm just testing out a new radio at the moment. This is the second time I've used it, which is the Anytone AT-779. It's a little micro mini type radio. The microphone's enough the same size as a radio. It's a normal full size type fist mic. It's got about a 15 watt output, and I'm running the thing off batteries at the moment, or off a battery. It's a little, not a little, it's a rather large 12 volt 20 amp lithium iron phosphate battery. This radio's going to end up in the car as just something I can leave in the glove compartment. It's a reasonably cheap and cheerful radio with a what I could say is a fairly good front end on the thing. The squelch on it's a bit on the weak side, and it doesn't take much to defeat it. I've got it. I can't remember what it's set to. I think it's about 6 or 7. Really needs to go up to about 8 or 9. Or actually, right up to the full squelch. But what I want to use it for in the car, with the receiver the way it is, it's going to be okay. And I suppose 15 watts is okay. So I'm going through a half-wave dipole at the moment. So that's what I'm doing at the moment, just testing this radio out. It's I'm also going to be testing a new battery, which I'm operating from at the moment, on probably not this weekend after. I don't know whether to run the whole shack off of it, because it's really, I really bought it for portable operations. I'm going to buy a a series of lithium iron phosphate batteries, and this is the bigger one which I use in a car or in a camp type setup. The other one will be a smaller one, which will be for more going out backpacking or in a shoulder bag with the 817. The bigger one will probably run on the 705. But there you go. I suppose it's round G4 FDN. With a pause, this is G7 CRQ.
Yeah, G4 FDN. Yeah, good evening, Adam. I don't know whether Alvin is copying me. I'm only getting snatches now and again, probably via aircraft flutter. Yeah, I know the AT-779. I've got the VU model, and they brought out the single band ones at the same time, I think about 3 years ago, but I think it's only this year have they brought out has the low band version appeared in the UK. I saw the 2 meter one and the 77 one at Martin Lynch's a few years ago. So they obviously quite good value for money. John, that signal on 80 meters, I doubt if it's digital voice, because one, it was on continuous for hours and hours and days, and two, it didn't show any the sort of variation that you would see on any of the known digital voice modes. That doesn't mean it couldn't be, but I don't think it is. It was about 3 kilohertz in
I'm on the SRCC 4 metre net on 4 metres, which is normally it starts at 8 o'clock on Wednesday evenings in the UK, in this part of South London. The SRCC is Surrey Contact Club. Mies Finks.
DPMR, DMR, and less so Fusion. But I couldn't, even when I did an internet search, I couldn't find anything about it. There has been, in about the last 6-7 months, more commercial activity on HF. Let's say the big financial houses in Europe and America have instituted HF links because landline and landlines, via fibre optic cables and that aren't quick enough, and satellites even slower. Because if you're involved with high frequency trading, and no pun intended here, high frequency radio will get your trades over the Atlantic quicker than they can on cable systems. So I came across one company registered in Holland who had a description on what they were doing on that. I had been using the Western Kiwi SDR. This is probably the best SDR site in the UK down at Western Super Mare. They got some superb antennas and receivers based on the Kiwi SDR, and a very low noise site. So I was using the SDR via an Edge browser, and I was by virtual audio cable, I was feeding that into my FreeDV digital voice application. So I could receive direct and then switch over to using the remote. The SDR itself decodes a lot of modes, but apart from DRM that's used on broadcast, it hasn't got any voice modes digital voice modes that it will decode. So the way to do it is to feed it into your own decoder. So it took a while to get my head around the configuration for the virtual audio cable to do that, but that is that has been done now. Yeah, and on that, yes, I know there's quite a bit of activity on that frequency, but usually at 4 o'clock, I think a lot of people have got used to seeing the very narrow band digital voice signal. It's only just on just a tad over 1 kilohertz wide on the waterfall. G8MNY in the net, G4FDM.
My computer said that it was SPANAG 4285, but nothing readable, encrypted, whatever. That's it from me, G1UBV, clear.
Yeah, I didn't get all that. Very weak signal with me. Someone called in with a report. Did you hear that, Pat, about digital?
I think it was G1 UBV. You're not very strong. Would you like to go again? G4FDN?
No, it's just to say the thing on 80 metres, according to my computer, it's SPANAG. It was SPANAG 4285 NATO. In it, I'm sure it was encrypted. Although weirdly, the IQ constellation.
What's he doing on 80 metres then?
Over a couple of days. But that's it from me. Hello, everyone.
Okay, that's a data mode, isn't it, Nick? Over.
Yeah, watch up.
All right. Oh, well, thanks for that, and thanks for calling in. Feel free to have another over. We can't all hear each other on here, but majority can hear. Majority, with a few exceptions. Back to you, John. So it's SPANAG 485. It's a NATO digital data mode, according to Nick. That was on your frequency on 80 metres, G4FDM.
Golf Figure 6, Juliet X-ray Alpha.
Good evening, Kim. Coming after Adam, I think. So fine, Pat, and thanks so much, Nick, for the information. So no one really knew. We were all making stabs in the dark at what it could be. But unfortunately, data and noise sounds like data and noise, etc. So that's it. But surprising. But I was surprised the chance of it turning up on my frequency was quite low, but it certainly did for a week. But there we go. So I haven't been doing too much today, other than playing with this RTT test set still. I've improved quite a lot of bits to it, but I went a slightly backward step when I was doing that. But I've learned more about these scanning receivers. It's a sort of like a 1.5 to 2 meg oscillator, which is used in this ramp thing I was talking about. And then it produces very, very rich harmonics from it with a really hard clipper into a ferrite balancing transformer into the centre tap of a diode ring mixer there. So whatever comes in gets mixed up with one of the harmonics to produce a 455IF. A couple of tuned circuits, an AGC amplifier IC, another tuned circuit, I think, and then another single transistor tuned circuit, and then a AM detector there. So the AM detector is sort of stopping the clock, doing the scanning, and there's an FM output which is also responsible for AFC. So once it stops the clock, the AFC holds it on frequency is the idea. So with the FM side of it. So that's basically what's in this box. It's about, I don't know, it's actually about 2 inches by about 4 inches, 5 inches, something like that. It's quite a small ball with a lot on it, considering it's not surface mount. But there we go. So they're not very good for receivers, obviously let anything in. But for checking on your own transmission for FM and AM, it's, of course, absolutely what you need. So round to you, Alvin. G6 Delta Tango Whiskey, G8MNY.
G6 CCW, hello Kim. I might be able to understand you. Thank you for coming up, Nick. You're loud and clear here with me. I've no idea what Pat was going on about, or Adam. Lots of TLAs, which I couldn't understand. I might be buying a used radio from a friend. It's a
Your brain
Yoti.
cells wouldn't go amiss.
I've used it at his location and it seems quite good. It's not 100% what I want. But I have everything that I want. But they keep breaking.
I wonder
So
why.
it seems one can't win. Anyway, I look forward to hearing your QSO, part of the QSO, Kim. Good evening. I've forgotten. CRQ,
Yes.
G6DTW.
Yeah, G6DTW, this is G7CRQ. Yeah, thanks for passing it over, Alvin. Well, so far, all of you sound really good. Alvin, you're a Radio 5 with some white noise behind you. Nick, when you if you're still listening, you ditto, you was the same. Radio 5 with some white noise. And the rest of you which are on are, I'm not going to rely on a signal meter on this radio, so it's just audio reports really, all solid Radio 5. Same as normal, so quite happy with this radio. What's NATO? I always thought 80 metres was one of our primary bands, or was a primary band in the UK. I didn't think we were secondary users on the band. Obviously, I'm wrong. And it's I wonder how long that's going to be there for. I mean, it's awkward. I mean, 3710 is not just used by you, John, but it's used by quite a few other nets. You know, that's there 24/7, not just in the UK, but around Europe and probably other parts of the world. So that's going to be interesting, that one. I suppose everyone's going to have to, if it's going to stay there for good, have to move. But it seems a bit of an odd one for NATO to use. Anyway, I'll see what, Kim, I'm going to put it round to Pat, because Pat was after me, then maybe Pat could put it through to you. So G4FDN to take G7CRQ.
Yeah, G4 FDN. Well, yes, we may be primary users, but it doesn't stop secondary use to other services, and they have to put up with the interference. But if they're running, kilowatts, it's hard to compete. As to why they chose that frequency, I don't know. Anyway, good evening to you, Kim. I think you're about strength 3 with me tonight, but readable.
I'm going to wind this off when it gets towards 20 minutes.
By John. John, you didn't mention the CMOS, the number of the CMOS hex inverter that was originally in your beta test kit.
Or after Pat's over.
I don't know whether it's a 4000 or the 4500 series. I've got quite a few. It sounds like you've got a workaround, so probably wouldn't want to put an original one back in, but would be interested to know what it was.
Well, I think this radio's passed my test. I'll be quite happy to use it.
It's
going to go in the car.
John G3ENG on
it's going to stay
Tuesday.
there.
He's doing
it's going
well.
to be used as I can leave it in the glove compartment.
Now, I think,
and whenever I use 4 meters, I just pull it out.
For a hernia op.
It's going to be a really useful addition to my mobile setup. With that,
he
coming up to
developed a
20
way of
minutes,
walking to
I'll wrap
minimise
this
the
video up.
discomfort from having the hernia. And,
see you later.
So it took him a while to unlearn it, if you
20
know what I
minutes,
mean.